and welcome to the show. You have joined us on Big Deal on CNBC TV 18 and I'm NISHA PODDAR. Now remember, this week has been surprisingly excellent for the deal street. There have been many big deals announced, not just in India but globally as well. The ones which can really move the needle and change the dynamics of the sector that they operate in. First, let's take you through the big deals of this particular week.
It's the end of an era. Yahoo sells its web business to Verizon for just under $5 billion as a 2-decade-long run comes to an end. Flipkart's Myntra Pip Snap deal, Future Group and the Aditya Birla Group in the race to buy Jabong will buy the online fashion portal for $17 million in cash. It's a first $1 billion takeover of an Indian company by a Chinese firm. SHANGHAI Fosun set to acquire 86% in Hyderabad-based Gland Pharma.
So those were the top deals of this week. Now what we will do this week is we'll bring to you the inside story behind each of these deals, and some of the big guns who are party to these deals would be joining us on the show this week.
RAVI PENMETSA of Gland Pharma and SANJAY NAYAR of KKR will join in to talk about the mega deal from the pharma space and why Gland Pharma chose Fosun over other players. And we'll also get you excerpts from two very special conversations. Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer telling CNBC why the Yahoo sale to Verizon does not mean failure of the company. And Myntra CEO Anant Narayanan's vision for the company Jabong, especially after his deal.
All right, the top deal on Big Deal this week definitely has to be Fosun Pharma of China buying out Gland Pharma. Remember, over $1 billion deal by a Chinese company. We have never seen that before. And look at the amount of moolah and the dollars really making it to the country. I have the men who really made this deal happen. We have the one who created Gland Pharma, and Ravi is joining us from Hyderabad, and Sanjay Nair of KKR is right here with us, who has close to about 38% stake in the company. Now, gentlemen, both of you, good to have you on the show. First, let me come to the one who created Gland Pharma and has got an over $1 billion of valuations for this particular company. Ravi, tell me, how difficult was this transaction for you, and what does Fosun really bring to the table?
Yeah, Nisha, first of all, this company was started by my father, and so I've built on that platform that he has provided, and we are where we are now. We looked at many partners with the help of KKR, and and as we went through this process, we felt Fosun suits us the best because they're a conglomerate. They have a lot of resources. They are worldwide. And then they also have Fosun Pharma, which is a multinational. They have presence in Israel. They have R&D in the US. They have several R&D centers in China, a lot of manufacturing in China. They're also strong in APIs. So we felt that this would really complement what we already created. And at Gland, we have already created an injectable platform that can access any market in the world. And as you know, we are very successful in the US market. So we felt this would be a great complement and we could get to the next level.
And Sanjay, coming to you then, KKR, of course, is exiting its investments from Gland Pharma. It's been from 2013 you are invested in this company. How has the journey been? And are you happy with the kind of sale process and also the returns and the valuations that this particular deal has really clocked in, because you're a deal maker at heart?
You know, Nisha, I think obviously first in terms of the investment experience, I think partnering with Ravi and his team has been, I think, one of our most wonderful experiences. When we look for partners, obviously, you want to partner people that you like and you trust. But I think in this case, you have probably one of the most competent management teams, just going by the track record on quality, which is absolutely the hallmark for an injectable business like this. So I think they've been superb journey in terms of investment. I think, our real value add, to the extent we could, and we can like to claim a bit, Our capital really went in helping Gland develop their facilities, accelerate some of their production lines, debottleneck, some of the issues. But frankly, this company's hallmark really is their customer centricity and the quality. And I think towards that, we've had one of the most splendid experiences. In terms of the deal, we're not going to comment on value and returns, Nisha, as you know. I would say these are good returns. We are obviously, happy to go along with what Ravi and the team wanted, which is they wanted now a strategic partner for the next journey of growth, and therefore we will be exiting. And I think, for what's really gratifying to us is that this company will now go into a hand of a very strategic company with Ravi at the helm still for a couple of years. And I think it goes to show that you really have people recognizing entrepreneurs in India who have built world-class manufacturing facilities and furthering the manufacturing paradigm in India, which I think is probably the most interesting part of this thing.
Oh, that's right, Sanjay. In fact, an important point that you mentioned is that there will be continuity in terms of the leadership of the company, even though the company is sold. And we have seen that in most of the M&A integration, and that leadership change is the most difficult thing for the people and the employees of the organization. So, of course, Ravi, you are going to stay on as MD and CEO for the next few years. What are your internal targets? Where do you want to see the company when you finally step down from here? You have retained some part of your stake as well.
Yeah, I think, we'd like to, there's still more things to be done in the injectable space. So we'd like to keep building on this platform. I think we'd like to, with the strength that Fosun Pharma brings to us, we'd like to go front-end marketing in many countries, because Fosun already has marketing outlets themselves in Africa and other parts of the world, and we definitely like to go front-end marketing with that. And then what they bring to the table is they have a biosimilar and a biological portfolio, which is at different stages of development. Some of it is quite mature, and this can be brought into the injectable platform that Gland already has. And then we, as you know, we sell in 90 countries. And to take these products into the portfolio and go into these countries would really accelerate the growth and the multiples. And I think the future is extremely bright with this kind of combination.
Talk to us about the valuation bit also, Ravi. Of course, this particular sector has seen a large transaction in the past where Strides had sold to Mylan, and now the injectables business by Gland Pharma as an injectables business is being sold. The numbers that I have generally is, 16x of EV/EBITDA, and for the next year forward, it's 14x on those lines. Do you think that you have managed to clock in a very good valuation in terms of the richness there?
I think you should ask Sanjay such questions, because they're experts at valuation coming in and exiting. I think no matter how much people pay, I always think the company is far more valuable.
All right, the company is priceless, Mr. PENMETSA. But Sanjay, in terms of valuations in this sector, how do you see this panning out for investors who are looking at it right now, and especially with the way markets are running up? Do you think that the expectations of the sellers are way too high at this point?
I think so. I mean, look, we as sellers, and again, Ravi and the team really, I would say, determined, finally what we all did. My view is that if you take too much of a price, I think you don't leave enough for the buyer. It's not as exciting in the future. And, at the end of the day, you have to leave a legacy behind. And this company has a long way to go, as you heard from Ravi. I would say the valuations are actually calming down a little bit. Which is good. They're not as stratospheric as they used to be, and frankly, it's a question of demand supply of injectables in the world markets. there is still demand for injectables, high quality facilities like this. As you know, this is pretty much 95% exports from this company. But at the same time, people are going to create more facilities. There is more supply coming up in the market. So at some point, demand supply, I think, will begin to get balanced again. So I think this is whatever multiples we finally transacted at are pretty fair. I think it's leaving enough on the table for the buyer, who will add, I think, a lot of strategic value and give a lot more products, bring in more capital over time and technology to help Ravi and his team go to the next level. And I think, put again India on the map, which is, I think, really what we're all trying to achieve.
Oh, that's right. So, Ravi, coming to the timeline of this deal, when is the deal completion likely?
I think, with the, I think we have to, make an application to the government of India, and it shouldn't take very long. I think maybe a couple of months.
All right. And any challenges that you see going forward? Is it going to be a long drawn process in that way to consummate this deal finally?
I don't see any hurdles. I think this fits in very well with the Make in India strategy, and more manufacturing coming to India, more investment coming into India, India becoming a manufacturing base for the rest of the world, and already the pharma investments already up to 74% have already been liberalized. Of course, this is higher than that, so we do have to go back to the government, but I don't expect, I think that this will be taken very well and we'll be able to move forward very smoothly.
All right, and coming to you, Sanjay, finally, it's a deal-based show, and you have been a deal maker for so long. There was an intense fight for Gland Pharma as well as an asset, and there was interest from Baxter of US. There was an Indian entity as well involved, which has been looking at and scouting around for assets, and there was a buyout fund as well. What really clinched the deal for Fosun?
I think, as I mentioned, NISHA, I think, basically it's I think the strategic intent that they put forth. Obviously, it's valuations to an extent, and I think it's Ravi's and his team's comfort with these people. I think that's really the three things that sort of, it's not really the last dollar and cents. It's the overall package that you get with this strategic company. They're very hungry, which is good. They want to grow the business. They want to make this a platform for themselves in the future. And look, one is to use Indian facilities as your back end. Other is for people like like Fosun, who want to make this their leading platform to manufacture and to supply to the world, which I think says a lot as to how this company is going to be viewed by Fosun. And I think that makes it very exciting. So it's not like some supply company being bought for the supply chain. This is going to be, front and center for Fosun as they build their base here and, increase manufacturing, put more money, and cater to the world markets here.
And also, Sanjay, in your view, you're a global investor. You see more money in the waiting to really invest in India?
I think so. I think, look, just from a private equity perspective, what I can comment on, I think long-term value-added foreign capital, like what all of us bring in, I think private equity and venture capital, as you know, has been the most significant FDI in the last calendar year. Even for this half of the year, it has been a very significant part of FDI. And frankly, that's what India needs. India today, has a bit of a deficit on private investments from local capital, and that's being made up by foreign capital. So you have a few deals like this, and a lot of our colleagues in the private equity industry have had some good exits. I think you put all this together, you're going to put India on the map for private capital to get attracted through private equity and venture capital firms. And you need it, because I think there is a paradigm of growth that is shifting in India under the Prime Minister and his team. You need capital right now. So, and this quality of capital will be attracted if folks get good returns.
All right, thanks, gentlemen, for joining us on the show. Ravi, Sanjay, thanks so much, and all the best for the consummation of this large transaction. With that, we'll slip into a short breather right here on Big Deal. But remember, a large transaction in the global space. Verizon buys Yahoo's web business for $4.8 billion. We'll talk about that on the other side. Stay tuned.